It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Man, I am excited because today on my Sharp Interactive board, I have Trey Lee, and Trey Lee is the Director of Strategic Partnerships for a company called CareAR, which is owned by Xerox. Folks, I've been a big fan of CareAR for over a year now. I've been looking at this company and studying it. They're an amazing organization. I've done a few episodes around their deliverable, but I'm excited today to announce that CareAR is part of the End of the Day with Ray platform, Tester of the Innovation Channel, one of our collaborators. I'm excited to do some things with CareAR and the other partners. And Trey, it's super awesome having you on today to talk about this fantastic product, because I think our friends in the Document Imaging Channel anyway are tired of thinking a sorter or a booklet finishers is their life. And so, Trey, just right out of the gate, tell us a little bit about CareAR for the folks that don't know what this augmented reality platform, and let's just have a conversation.
Sure, thanks, Ray. I appreciate you having us out today to chat about CareAR and how we can help the services industry. CareAR and augmented reality is really a agnostic software tool that we believe any vertical, any services organization can use today.
Well, when you say any vertical, any service organization, that's kind of what I like about this, because not only obviously you can use it if you're a dealer in the imaging channel to augment some of your service platforms, and we could share some ways that works. But also if you're a dealer and you're selling other services to end users, and I think of it, let's say you have a plumbing company as one of your customers, and you want to allow that plumbing company to have a better or more virtual experience or a better digital experience with their end users, you could actually resell that CareAR platform. Is that correct?
That's correct. I mean, you can use it internally for your own services organization. You can sell it externally as a reseller as well. And, at the end of the day, what happens is this affects your bottom line, whether you're internally using it or externally using it.
You have a customer service, deliverable. You have an IT services deliverable. You got a field services deliverable. And, I was reading an article recently. Actually, it was a video that I was watching recently where there was a Canadian firm, a big giant print house, I guess, one of your big important customers up there in Canada. And the borders were closed, and they were setting up their big iron, we call it, from Xerox. And they actually did this in-house with CareAR. Could you explain that a little bit? Because that's pretty awesome to me.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, obviously, COVID's affected all of our lives. And right now, with the border crossing between the U.S. and Canada, that was not allowed. So we couldn't send installers and employees over the border to install these large format printers. So we ran the whole installation from start to finish over CareAR so that we could walk those installers in Canada through the install process. And on top of that, they finished early. I mean, when does that ever happen,
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So you had physical labor in Canada that worked for Xerox, or was this physical labor part of the company itself? I mean, how did this all pan out?
Combination of both. Okay. So we had some Xerox, we had customer installers there as well, but they also needed the expertise back at headquarters so that they could walk them through whether it's a wiring or how they bolted things to the floor, things of that nature. They needed that expert knowledge remotely.
That's just amazing when you start thinking about the scope of that, because obviously we were impacted by a global pandemic, which, preempted all that to happen. But, why couldn't that happen without a global pandemic? And like you just said, it was one of the best installs you've ever had. So that's kind of interesting. Will Xerox do more of those type of installs, you think?
I sure hope so. Why not? It saves on travel time, effort, everything else. Everything gets more efficient.
Plus, I'm sure, those savings could go back to the customer as well. That's pretty awesome stuff. You have a fantastic relationship with a company called ServiceNow. We all know ServiceNow. Can you explain a little bit how CareAR and Xerox, is working with ServiceNow? I mean, how is that coming together?
Yeah, so we have a very tight ServiceNow and how we integrate into their tool. Mm-hmm. The easiest way to look at it is the easy button. So within ServiceNow, if you want to start an augmented reality session, you push a button. Mm-hmm. It automatically starts that session up with your customer, your partner, whatever it may be. On top of that, that is then stored within the ServiceNow ticketing system for eternity, if you will. So you always have a record of this, and you never have to worry about downloading something additional to a different storage device.
And I know I've introduced you all to our friends over at ECI, one of my other collaborators, so we'll see how that, because their platforms are for different verticals as well. But it is an amazing product. I did a video not too long ago where I was talking about a company called EloQ, and this was in the Australian market, and together with EloQ and the Australian government and CareAR, doing some neat stuff for inspecting bridges, if you will. So, I just think when you look at augmented reality and how that augmented reality can create a digital experience that most people couldn't have imagined just a few short years ago is pretty amazing. So, you're going to be at the BTA. Xerox will be there. And, thanks again on behalf of the BTA and all of its members, because you're sponsoring the night cruise, the dinner cruise. That'll be awesome. But, when you're there and you're talking to dealers about the CareAR platform, do they have to be a Xerox dealer to participate in CareAR, or how does that work?
They do not. Like I said, we're owned by Xerox, but we welcome any other partner as well. I mean, we feel like CareAR, from a software perspective, can help anyone, any vertical, anytime.
So no matter what OEM I'm working with, if I want to sell CareAR on its own, I can do that. Can you help me through a little bit on the equipment? So I've seen some of the demos, and we were looking at some Xerox printers and things that we would be able to remote in, and you could help people assist them to fix some things. Do you do all OEM printers, or how is that?
We do. The way I like to look at it is, again, we're agnostic to whatever device is out there, whatever vertical is out there. Now, obviously, being owned by Xerox, we've got a little more information about Xerox components and equipment. But we're open to using our software to any other vertical or device.
Okay, and obviously over time that's going to really ramp up, because once you start doing this, you keep all those records and things. It's just an amazing product, and I think our friends in the Documentary channel, you're trying to go to your customers and have a differentiator. And I could imagine if you included this in a bid, if you were a savvy dealer and you kind of included this into a bid and you were showing a customer how you were going to be able to solve some service issues with an augmented reality over a competitor who had no capabilities or maybe couldn't even understand augmented reality, that could be a pretty big plus to you. Do you see any of that going on in the marketplace? Are people, requesting this kind of service, or is it still up to you to push it?
Like you said, you see a lot of forward-thinking dealers that are looking at ways to improve their business, not only from a monetary perspective, but from a service perspective, in that they've already seen the truck rolls get reduced. They've seen the resolution time increase. What does that mean at the end of the day? That means that all of these technicians can do, let's just say, 20% more calls per day. That's a bottom line number, a hard number.
That's pretty amazing. You look in the imaging channel, and if you don't have the part, that's a problem. But if you're just lacking a little bit of skills in the old technology, you're trying to call the help desk or whatever it is, and you might be on the phone for an hour and a half or 2 hours. With CareAR, they could just remote in. They'd have that expertise right there, or they have a session showing them exactly what to do. I mean, to me, that's what'd be awesome. I mean, because our techs are not stupid people by any means. They're smart. Right. Just because they never saw a Konica machine doesn't mean that through augmented reality they couldn't fix it. And I think
that's right.
And that goes for any brand. And I think that's a real game changer in our industry. I mean, we're looking, right now at the biggest amount of leases that are stuck in Evergreen where customers are keeping stuff. And I think there's going to be some pressure put on those customers from dealers to try to upgrade that stuff. But think about the dealer that understands augmented reality as part of the platform. They could go in and service that equipment, use some augmented reality sessions to help them along the way, and take over service contracts while they sell them other things. So, I mean, it's just a real game changing. Have you had any real, stories that just kind of knocked it out of the park that you want to share?
Well, I mean, I have a personal one. I've got and this is, again, very small, but it's meaningful, different vertical. I have a boat I keep on the water. I don't like to take it out to a shop. I had a warranty guy come out here, do some work on it, and he's down under the hood trying to take all these pictures with his phone, and, light bulb goes off on my side when he gets done. I show him the CareAR application and how it can affect his day, and he drives all over the country. And he was blown away by it. And so now, coincidentally, we're talking to this company about CareAR. It can, like I said, it can work in every vertical in anyone's everyday life.
It's pretty amazing stuff. And I'll be looking forward to meeting with you guys in San Diego. By the way, that's August 18th and 19th. Let's make sure you get to that BTA meeting. It is a national meeting. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I also look forward to getting involved with some of the demos and some of the things. as we build our relationship, with CareAR, because it's definitely an exciting product, to say the least. How is it working with? Are you getting a lot of acceptance from dealers, or are they more Xerox dealers, or are they more dealers that are outside of the family?
I'd say it was a combination, but once you kind of get over that hurdle of the word augmented reality, they kind of get it. They understand how it can affect them and their company. Again, we're having widespread acceptance, whether it's North America or globally as well right now.
Well, that's the other thing. This is a global platform. I mean, think about some of the. Yeah, I just, every time I think about it, just my imagination goes crazy, because there's so many applications for this. And like I said, It's not just for the dealer to fix their own service problems and give a better experience to end users, but to allow those end users to create a better experience for their service problems is really a home run. It's a game changer. It's a whole new deliverable for our industry. It's exciting stuff. And, Trey, is there anything you want to add before we end this?
No, we've got some really interesting things coming down the road too. On our roadmap is very, very robust. So, if you're at ETA, please come by the Xerox booth, talk to me. I'll give you some insight of what's coming, and look forward to speaking with you.
Well, I can't wait to see you in person in San Diego, August 18th and 19th. I'm excited about it. We're going to have a lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to change the game. We got to, deliver a better experience for those end users. I keep talking about how are we going to navigate our end users in that intersection between the digital and physical world. There is no better product in the world than CareAR. So a lot of things to think about, but get on their website and check this out. I think you'll be amazed. Because we all know this, my friends, status quo is the killer of all that will be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.